Welcome back, everyone, to the Reiki Gem Wellness channel. This is the latest episode of Let's Talk Crystals. Wow, it's been a week. For those who are new to this channel, who haven't watched these episodes before, welcome. My name is Shannon, and I'm a certified Reiki master and teacher and a certified gemologist, and I combine those skills and passions to provide you with the knowledge, tools, and opportunities to practice incorporating crystal wisdom into your everyday life. These episodes in particular are more casual. They are conversations between you and I. They are unscripted. They are mostly unedited unless something makes a loud noise and I have to edit that out. But the intention of these is to give you real life examples from my life and how I used crystals and gemstones to support me and to answer your most common questions about using crystals and gemstones in your life. My week. Yeah, it was, this was a rocky one. I feel this year it has just been kind of a roller coaster of emotions. And for one, it's becoming sweater weather in Texas. It's getting a little cooler. It's starting to feel like fall, and I'm so thankful for that. So thankful. But, so one gemstone that I reached out to this week is Tiger's Eye. This is a wonderful gemstone if you're doing multiple things that are out of your comfort zone. You're feeling a lot of doubt in your abilities to handle those things, in your abilities to do those things. And yellow gemstones that bring about confidence. There's two types of flavors. There's that real good boost of confidence if you're just really doubting one specific thing and you really need those boosts, then gemstones like honey, calcite will help. But if you are feeling so overwhelmed and divided about the many things that you might be feeling a lack of confidence with, then Tiger Eye is so useful because it is a grounding stone and an uplifting stone. It's the stone of sun and earth. So it helps you just focus and ground first, to just come back down to earth. And then it very gently and firmly reminds you that you can do it. Absolutely, you can do it. It's such a friendly stone. It's like your best friend when you're feeling really unsure of yourself and your best friend is like, you got this. You can. Tiger's Eye. So wonderful. And another pair of stones that I've been working with is rose quartz and rhodonite. I mean, there's lots of issues of the heart with me for this week. It is close to the election. And opinions are getting heated. As much as I have been trying to stay off of social media, I've already voted, I've already cast my vote, and I felt like I would feel more relief after that. But, this is when anxieties and tensions they're just getting stronger, and you may have a difference of opinion with a loved one, and it's hard right now. And these stones help remind you why you love those people, why you respect them, why they're in your life, and helps you hold on to that while you're riding the waves of stress and anxiety. But that wasn't the only area in which I was feeling just a difficulty in loving this week. I was stressed, and, it helps us forgive ourselves when maybe you've overreacted to something. I know I have. And, when you've been in a house cooped up with people during the coronavirus. You tend to get on each other's nerves, and these stones bring us back to the heart. When it's difficult to love, why do you love these people? Compassion, patience, love. Despite everything else, it brings you back to the heart. And then the final set of stones are my sleep stones, because I've had some really difficult nights sleeping. My daughter's had some difficult nights sleeping, and we've really needed Howlite and Amethyst. And really these stones, they form a nice little pyramid for me, so they sit by my bed. But I do a meditation before I go to bed, and I hold them to just release stress and anxiety there with Howlite, and to Amethyst to help encourage relaxation and sleep. And it helps me just settle down to go to sleep and have a more peaceful sleep. Or if you're up in the middle of the night and you need some help, then you can grab these stones and sit with them for a few minutes and then try to go back to sleep. But setting them by your bedside also helps as well. And, how do I use these gemstones then? I've brought those up, but for tiger's eye, when I'm feeling those doubts and I'm feeling that fluttering, like all in the torso area, then I just take a moment and stop and just let those fears go. And I'm holding it in my non-dominant hand, and I just take a minute in a quiet area just to hold it and just let the grounding effects just take hold, and let that tension just dissolve down into the earth. The earth absorbs any excess that we're feeling. And then once I'm grounded, I can invite up those feelings of confidence and reassurance. And then same with the heart stones. When I'm feeling frustrated, I take a few minutes by myself. It doesn't take long, 3 minutes, to sit with the stones and let them remind me of what they represent. And to sit with love in my heart. To sit and think about why I love those people. And really that's all it takes, is a couple of minutes when you need it. But it's important to just stop the cycles of whatever you're feeling and sit and hold the stones. Think about what they represent and let them help you. If I feel a little out of it, I didn't get much sleep last night, so I sat with some Howlite and Amethyst last night as well to help it, just release some stress and fall back to sleep. So I feel like that one was kind of heavy. And maybe it's just because I'm tired. I'm feeling a little... I do have coffee here to help me. But the question of the week is, are there any negative stones, inherently negative stones, that we should avoid working with? And energetically, the answer is no, there's not. Physically, there are physically toxic stones that you want to take special care with and wash your hands or wear plastic gloves. And I'll be doing a separate video just on toxic gemstones. That's on my list. But see, here's one of those unplanned, unedited moments. Okay. You will not often run into extremely toxic gemstones in your normal rock and gem store or your metaphysical store. They're not commonly sold there. But if you do go to a gemstone convention or an expo, there could be geological society booths there. Speaking from experience, because I did check out some of these stones, but usually they are in an area of their own. They're clearly labeled. They don't want you to touch them. If you want to purchase them, they handle them with gloves. They put them in thick plastic bags, and they give you all of the necessary warnings. Are there positive benefits from them? Sure. But you just have to be careful handling them. But back to energetically, are there any inherently negative stones that you should avoid working with? No. Now, a lot of people have a different opinion about this. They feel like certain gemstones are a no-no. You should never work with them. They will just bring negative juju to you. And really, that's just not, it's just not true. However, there are gemstones that you might not be ready to work with that are really powerful, and you might not be there. That might not be the space in your life in which you are ready to handle that energy or that benefit. If you like lapis and malachite and obsidian, they are stones that do not let you deny what you've been hiding from. And if you find yourself working with them and you're not aware of that, then things can come up that you might not be prepared for. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because if you are prepared to and you want to, those are great stones for looking at shadow work. And somebody mentioned that in my comments recently, and that was a perfect description of those stones. There could also be, like, you could be working with a gemstone that's the opposite energy that you need. And again, someone else brought this up in the comments. Like, selenite was making this commenter, this viewer, feel really agitated and uncomfortable. And that could be because that was not the energy they needed. Selenite and white gemstones are very open, very expansive, and if you're feeling particularly vulnerable, you're in a space in your life where you need to be grounded and protected and like focused inward, then you need gemstones that support that. The black gemstones, the root chakra gemstones, rather than exaggerating an energy that is the opposite of what you need, especially if you are needing help sleeping and you continue to work with energizing stones like carnelian and red jasper. It's gonna feel uncomfortable, but it doesn't mean that those are negative gemstones. It means that if you're feeling uncomfortable with a gemstone, like, really look inside. Am I feeling uncomfortable because this is a sign that there is something within that I need to address with this gemstone? Or do I need a different gemstone? And only you can answer that. And you got to be honest with yourself when you're looking inside. Am I uncomfortable with red jasper because I have issues with passion in my life and it's making me uncomfortable? Or is it because I'm desperately needing some sleep and I keep working with this energizing stone? So, are there any gemstones you really need to avoid? No. But be mindful when you're working with a gemstone, if you're feeling uncomfortable, to look deeper and to see what's making you feel uncomfortable. So I hope that answers that question. And if you have any questions about working with crystals and gemstones, if you have more questions about the topic of negative gemstones, then make sure to post them in the comments below, because If it's, I can expand on negative gemstones more in my reply. And also I can add your question. If I don't already have it on my list, I can add it. Thank you so much for joining me today and listening to how I use gemstones in my life. And I really appreciate your support and your enthusiasm and your beautiful comments. So thank you so much. And I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Thank you.